This is where we take sources you send us, dig into them, and pull out the key insights quickly, effectively.
Basically, yeah. A shortcut so you can stay informed without, getting totally overwhelmed.
Exactly. And today's mission, well, it's a bit different. More heartwarming, maybe.
I'd say so. We've got this great collection of stories, interconnected stories from the Master American English podcast. A listener shared these.
Right. And through them, we're going to explore what exactly?
Well, a few things. The surprising power of, small acts of kindness. Also, the whole journey of learning, how that unfolds.
And how everyday interactions, just talking to people, can build confidence, especially with language skills.
Precisely. That's a big part of it. And these aren't just, random feel-good anecdotes. They link together.
Oh, okay. So there were practical lessons in there.
Definitely. There's this recurring character, Thomas, his journey trying to improve his English, handle his job. It ties a lot of it together.
Got it, Thomas. Okay, sounds interesting. Let's dive in then.
All right. So, first up, this idea of the ripple effect of kindness. It sounds simple, maybe, but the stories show it's quite powerful.
Okay, like what? Give me an example.
Well, there's James. He's a baker. And there's this woman, Helen, who comes in looking worried. He just gives her a loaf of bread. A small thing, really.
Just like that, an act of empathy.
Exactly. And the ripple. Weeks later, Helen comes back, but with her husband this time.
Oh, wow. To thank him.
Yes, and to explain how much that simple gesture meant during a really tough time for them, it just shows, doesn't it?
It really does. You never know the full impact, do you? Those small things we do.
Precisely. It suggests kindness isn't always about, big dramatic gestures. Often it's the quiet, subtle things.
Like Peter, the delivery driver.
Yeah, another great example. He helps an older gentleman with his shopping bags. Just takes a minute out of his day.
And his wife, Anna, had that great line, didn't she?
Yeah.
About him delivering kindness.
She did. It captures it perfectly. It wasn't just about the packages.
It makes you think, have you ever been on the receiving end of something like that? A small bit of help from a stranger that just changed your day.
Or been the one offering it. Those little connections, they matter. They stick with you.
They really do. Okay, who else? There was Rebecca at the grocery store.
Right. Rebecca and George. He was clearly a bit lost, confused, maybe new to the area.
And she was patient with him.
Incredibly patient, didn't rush him, took the time to help him figure things out. And that kindness, that extra moment, made him feel, seen, safe even.
It shows how just being patient, slowing down for a second, can really create a sense of safety for someone, especially if they're feeling vulnerable.
Absolutely. It can completely reframe their experience, can it? Easy to get caught up in our own rush.
So true. And there was one more kindness example. Emily, the nurse.
Yes, Emily and Mr. Johnson. He was new in town, lonely, feeling isolated in, I think, a care facility.
And Emily just talked to him.
She listened, really listened, gave him her full attention. And the story says her conversation was the best medicine for him.
Wow. That's powerful. Just being heard.
It really is. It highlights how focused attention, just truly listening, can be such a profound form of support.
It's fundamental, isn't it, that need to be acknowledged. So, okay, we've seen these ripples of kindness. How does this connect to learning and growth?
Well, the principles are similar. Patience, support, encouragement. They're just as crucial when someone's learning something new. Take Sarah, the student learning to read.
Right, and her teacher, David.
David's patience and constant encouragement were key. He didn't just repeat things. He created this really supportive space for her, believed in her.
So the key factors were that consistent support and his belief in her potential.
I think so. That combination seems vital for building confidence when you're learning. Makes you think about your own experiences, right? What kind of support helped you learn something tricky?
Definitely. Okay, so let's bring Thomas back into this. His English learning journey at the furniture store. He started off not very confident.
Not at all. But what's really interesting is how proactive he was. He didn't just, hope he'd get better.
What did he do specifically?
He actively worked on it. Listened to podcasts like the one these stories came from, actually.
Nice touch.
Yeah. And he'd repeat phrases he heard, wrote down new words. He really took ownership, made his own learning opportunities.
And that started to pay off.
It did. We see these little wins early on, like talking to customers Peter and Susan. Small successes, but they started building that crucial confidence.
Shows that consistent effort, even small steps, really does add up. It gives you that boost.
Exactly. And that led him to join a community English conversation class.
Smart move. Practicing with others.
Right. He met other learners there, like Emily and George from the earlier stories, actually.
Oh, interesting connection.
Yeah. And it was a positive experience. It really drove home the importance of actually using the language,
Right.
making it a daily active thing, not just studying theory.
Totally. That practice in a safe space is gold for language learners, turning knowledge into actual communication.
Then there's a shift. Thomas starts training a new employee, Kevin.
So now he's the teacher. That's quite a jump.
It is. And it shows his transformation. He goes from being nervous about speaking to actually instructing someone else. And Kevin apparently gave him good feedback.
That's fantastic. And, teaching someone else often solidifies your own understanding, doesn't it?
Absolutely. To explain it, you have to understand it better yourself. So teaching Kevin probably reinforced Thomas's own English skills.
Like that saying, teach it to learn it. Okay, so then he faces a bigger challenge, the big sale event.
Yeah, he was worried about that. But Rebecca, his colleague, gave him some encouragement.
So that support network is still important, even as he gets better.
Crucial, especially when stepping outside your comfort zone. And despite his nerves, he handles interactions with customers, James and Linda, successfully.
So the practice paid off in a higher stakes situation, transferring skills.
Exactly. And he keeps identifying areas to improve, like phone skills. He realized that was different.
So he practiced that specifically.
Yeah, he practiced with Rebecca, just simple conversations over the phone. It shows the value of targeting specific skills you need, not just general improvement.
Smart. Okay, what about handling problems? Customer service.
We see that too. There's a situation with Rachel and a delayed sofa delivery. Potentially tricky.
How did he handle it?
Calmly, clearly. Used polite phrases like, I am sorry for the delay. The story emphasizes how those small, polite phrases can really de-escalate things.
Good point. Little words, big impact in customer service.
And we see more of this when he's managing the customer service desk later. He helps Emily and Robert resolve issues, again using specific, polite language.
So the sources actually point out the phrases he used.
That's useful. Yeah, it gives you, the listener, really practical takeaways. You could try using similar phrases yourself. They can make a big difference in how interactions go.
Okay, this learning journey seems very interconnected. He's learning, then teaching.
Exactly. Like when he helps his own daughter, Lily, with her English, it reinforces that cycle. Teaching deepens your own understanding.
It really is a cycle.
Mhm.
And then he trains another new employee, Daniel.
Yes, and Daniel is also learning English. So Thomas is now actively creating that supportive environment he benefited from earlier. Shows real growth in leadership, too.
Wow. He's come a long way. What else? Planning sales?
Yeah, he gets involved in planning weekend sales with Linda. He's not just taking orders anymore. He's contributing ideas, interacting successfully with customers like Paul and Hannah during the sale. He's stepping up.
Taking initiative. And it's not just work, right? There was something about a kitchen door.
Yes. Fixing the kitchen door with Lily. A simple, everyday task. But it becomes another chance for communication, for practice, for bonding.
It shows that language practice isn't just formal study. It's woven into daily life.
That's such an important point. Look for those everyday moments. Then comes a big test. Mr. Carter, his boss, goes away for 3 days.
And leaves Thomas in charge.
Yep. Huge sign of trust. And Thomas handles it well. He even practiced making store announcements beforehand.
Preparation builds confidence for those bigger responsibilities.
Definitely. And Mr. Carter is pleased, gives him positive feedback, which then leads to a new task.
Another step up.
Organizing a small store event. So you see this positive feedback loop. Effort leads to success, which leads to more trust and responsibility, which encourages more effort.
That's a great dynamic. And he planned the event with others.
With Linda and Brian. Successfully executed it too. More evidence of his growing skills, language, and professional.
And he doesn't stop there, does he? He keeps pushing himself.
No, he stays committed. Sets daily goals like talking more with customers, writing better notes. He actively reflects on interactions like with Mr. Wilson and Mrs. Green to learn from them.
That active reflection is key, isn't it? Not just doing, but thinking about how you did.
Absolutely. And he starts identifying store needs proactively, like ordering supplies and guiding newer people like Brian. It's holistic growth.
Taking initiative, leadership. It's more than just language now.
Much more, though language is still the foundation. Even preparing for the next store event, he's practicing announcements again, getting feedback from Linda. The nerves might still be there a bit.
But he knows how to manage them now, through practice.
Exactly. It's not about eliminating nerves, maybe, but learning to perform well despite them. His whole journey just shouts, practice, Believe in yourself and appreciate that positive feedback loop.
It's a really compelling journey. Okay, so let's pull out the practical stuff for you, the listener, especially if you're learning English.
Right. Connect Thomas's story to your own. The sources are packed with useful everyday phrases, "Can I help you?" Asking about features, polite requests. These are the building blocks.
Things you can actually use tomorrow.
Totally. And his methods work. Listening actively to real conversations, repeating what you hear, writing things down, even simple sentences. These aren't just classroom exercises. They're real-world strategies.
So the big takeaway is find those opportunities.
Yes. Look for chances for small acts of kindness, maybe, but definitely for simple English conversations in your daily life. A chat with a neighbor, asking a question in a shop.
Don't dismiss those small interactions. They add up.
They really do. Each one builds a tiny bit more confidence, a little more skill. They might seem insignificant, but they're not.
Every interaction is a practice opportunity.
Spot on.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, we've seen the power of small kindnesses, right? That ripple effect.
Yeah, and the whole rewarding, sometimes challenging journey of learning and growing.
And how just, everyday chats and interactions are incredibly valuable for building skills and confidence.
Couldn't have said it better.
So here's something for you to think about after this. Consider one small act of kindness you could do today. Or maybe one small step you could take on your own learning path, whatever that might be.
And just reflect. How might that one small thing create its own positive ripple, like we saw with James or Peter or Thomas?
Great thought to end on. Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive.
Yes, thank you. Hope you found it valuable, maybe even a little inspiring.